I've had this Weber kettle for a while, and I just don't know if the hinge is ever going to work. But today, we're going to see if we can at least make it better. Or if we just find out if Weber's shipping faulty hinge setups. I sure would like to know. So a little backstory on this grill. I got it around 4 months ago, and the hinge mechanism has never really worked to its full potential. It just kind of floats. It's kind of like a floating lid, and you can't seal it tight, and you can't go low and slow with it. And even at like medium temperatures, it gets kind of out of control and doesn't work real hot. So I'm trying to resolve that issue. And I initially got in touch with Weber support, and over email, they didn't really get back to me. So then I left them kind of a negative review on this product, the new Master Touch Premium. And they got back to me pretty quick then, and they sent me a hinge and a lid for this, thinking that it was the lid was actually out of round, not the hinge mechanism that's the problem. But they sent me a hinge anyway, which thank you for sending me that finally. I appreciate that. And I've played around with it a little bit. I put the new lid on, and it still has a wobble. It still kind of goes side to side, and even though it may not be out of round, it's not fitting nicely on the base. So at this point, I'm thinking it's probably one of two things. One, the hinge just isn't designed properly and will never work. Or perhaps the base is out of round and it's actually not the lid, it's the base of the kettle grill that needs help or replacement. And the existing lid I have on there is the replacement, and actually I think works worse than the first one. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap it out, get back to original conditions, and then we're gonna play with the hinge a little bit to see if we can get it to work better. So this is the original lid, and just sitting on the base, you know, it has movement because of the base moves, but it doesn't wobble. It's nice and tight. Either way I put it, it fits nicely. So now we'll retest the hinge. So this is actually my original setup put back together. The old lid, existing hinge, and it's not the worst. It sits pretty good on the base, which I'm okay with, but it's still not tight all the way around. It doesn't sit flush in the back, it's high in the back. And it's got a little wobble side to side. So I've explored the lid option to, I think, its full extent. The one they sent me doesn't work better, it works worse. So I'm guessing the original one I have is generally fine unless they're both just bad. The setup's not the worst right now. It's something I can probably live with, but I'd still like to make it better. And I have seen people swap out the springs. Got these big springs in here. And what I found is people have been hooking them the opposite direction. So you theoretically might get a little bit different tension on the spring, and maybe it gives a little more spring to close shut versus kind of floating, levitating like it is now. It's got just like a little float to it, especially in the back, and I can't lower it in the back anymore. I've tried that. So this is kind of my last effort to see if we can resolve this. All right, we got the hinge mechanism mounted on my workshop here so I can have some leverage on it. See if we can get these springs switched around without ripping my hands off. Okay. That part wasn't too terrible. Okay, I got the hinge mounted right side up here on my workbench, and this modification basically just makes it so the pick point just creates a little more tension. By the way we are hooking to the bottom part here, it just extends the spring a little bit more, which should give more tension on the spring, and we'll see what it does for the lid. Whew. Okay. Hopefully that does the trick. Definitely watch your fingers on that one. All right, so we got the existing hinge unmodified right here, and I just want to show you what it looks like compared to the one that we modified. And obviously the looks are the same, but just the way the springs are configured, the only difference is the bottom. So this one is the modified one, and the pick point is hooking around the bottom, where this one is hooking around the top. So you see this one has a little less tension than this one. The springs are generally more coiled, more tension. It's just a longer throw distance from point A to point B. So we'll see if that makes a difference. So we're gonna mount the new modified hinge, which has worked for some people. We'll see if it's gonna work for me, and perhaps you if you're having problems as well. Holy crap. I certainly did not expect that to work, but it's still got just a little bit of wobble in it. But what I like about it, and now when you close it down, it goes down without you pushing on it or anything. It's a nice crisp close. So this, I think I can live with. Glad that is finally resolved. Weber, if you're watching, please make this modification in the factory so we don't have to at home. It seems to be a simple fix that somebody caught on, and takes a little doing with the spring. There's a lot of tension, so be careful at home if you try this. If you like this video, I think you might enjoy these other Weber kettle videos I've done in the past right here to my left. Check them out. I'd love to see you here again at Seared and Smoked, where we're always building better barbecue for you at home.